Welcome back, everyone, to TV5 News at 9. It is time now for Education Matters. Of course, we are here with Dr. Craig Douglas, so thank you so much for calling in. How are you?
I'm well, Blake. How are you this morning?
I'm doing great. Thank you for asking. Of course, last week we covered student motivation. Today we're talking about social emotional learning. So, Dr. Douglas, what is social and emotional learning, and how is it connected to a student's motivation?
Excellent point, Blake. And I want to thank you for letting me call in today. I'm on location at Bay City Central High School. And the staff here, along with other teachers in our region, are really cued in to this idea of SEL, social emotional learning, because the fallout of the pandemic has been impactful on students. They were largely isolated for a stretch of time, and now coming out of the isolation, coping with the challenges of school on a day-to-day basis, for some young learners has been a challenge. So the whole idea of SEL arms parents and teachers with strategies to help keep students going, which is the motivation piece from last week. I hope that kind of makes sense in terms of connecting those dots.
Yeah, I think so, and thanks for painting that out. So, in terms of skills, what does social and emotional learning address for those skills?
I don't claim to be an expert, but I would summarize SEL as a growth mindset being promoted for our young learners, a growth mindset. Things like self-awareness, realizing that students will get up in the morning and some days they'll feel really enthusiastic and ready to go after it, and then other days maybe less so. That self-awareness that we have as adults, students need to acquire. The idea of self-management, and Blake, many times I've touched upon the idea of time management, setting priorities, making sure tasks are done in a timely fashion. All those things go towards a growth mindset, which is a sound social, emotional learning mindset.
Yeah. Okay, so for our parents, what are some ways that they can use ideas from social and emotional learning to encourage kids at home?
I think for all of us, whether educators, parents, grandparents, or whatever, I think it's to listen to our children, listen to our students, see what they're saying and see how we can help support them. Maybe they're on a peak. How can we support them to continue? Maybe they're in a little bit of a dip or a valley. How can we help pull them out?
Yeah.
It's all about relationships and building those relationships up. And I credit one of the Washington Elementary teachers that I talked with about this piece, Allison Duford. Miss Duford is actually doing her master's degree in the area of study. So she is an expert, and there are more and more emerging experts in this field. I think it's fascinating, Blake, and I think it's hopeful for all of us in terms of supporting our young people.
Absolutely, and gives us an idea of how to help them in their studies. Is there anything else that you would like to add, Dr. Douglas?
Well, I often talk about grit and perseverance and staying with it, and that's what we all need to do in our roles to help support our young learners. And by persevering, we can work through those dips that I referred to just a minute ago, and we can all then have a growth attitude, a growth mindset.
All right, Dr. Douglas, thank you for your motivation.
Thanks, Blake, so much. Take care and be well.
All right, you too as well. Thank you again. And for more information about today's topic, of course, check out the lifestyle page on our website, WNEM.com.